Love and the fifth dimension. There's a direct correlation between frequencies of love within you and the fifth dimension. Hi everybody, I'm Shad Diamond, and I'd like to share a few thoughts with you about how love and why loving yourself is so important to be able to permanently move into the fifth dimension, where you can truly experience freedom and happiness. I hope you'll be able to receive this message for what it's really saying and pass it on to others. First, let's remember that a dimension is a state of consciousness from which you create your life. It's not a place that you physically go to, but your physical reality is a reflection of your consciousness. It has to do with the denseness of your thoughts, your self-awareness, and how you focus your mind. Or, another way of putting it, your beliefs and attitudes, combined with whatever you think about the most and how you feel about things, is what defines the quality of your life. See, your consciousness is constantly transmitting vibrations out to the universe, and source energy resonates with those vibrations to create your reality. So just to keep it simple, what you put out is what you get back. For example, if you're always complaining, your experience of life is mostly going to be horrific. You're going to have a lot of unpleasant things happening. On the other hand, if you're always complimenting, your life is mostly going to be beautiful and easy. When you put your focus on what's positive, it allows you to raise the vibration of your consciousness and eventually stabilize into the fourth or fifth dimension. It has to do with consistency. But when you focus on what's wrong with everything, it restricts the resonance of your consciousness and holds you in the third dimension. Consequently, one of the bigger challenges of the times is to rise above the illusion of the third dimensional world. Now, I'm calling it an illusion because it's only real when you create it to be real for yourself. In other words, as much as you may not want to accept it, you do, in fact, create your own reality. In the third dimension is a lower vibrational state of beingness. It's jam-packed with fear, and most of the time, your life is filled with problems and challenges and concerns and things not working, along with your attempt to control life rather than to go with the flow. Because whatever you experience in life always, always, always matches the vibratory resonance that's held within you. In other words, your thoughts and feelings radiate a vibratory message out to the universe, telling it what to send back to you in the form of good or bad experiences in your life. It's really that simple. But in order to move up the scale, you'll have to change your mindset and clear out the issues that have been holding you down and let go of the old beliefs and attitudes that have prevented you from realizing who you really are. So here's a few things to take into consideration. Self-realization means to wake up to who you are. The paradigm shift that the New Age community has talked about for decades now is the awakening within you. It has to do with understanding that you are a creator. Source energy flows through you, and you are the one who directs how that energy is applied to life. So if you're a negative person, guess what your life is going to look like? Now, to be fair, the majority of negative people don't even know that they are being negative. They're unaware of it. And when they speak, they just think they're telling it like it is. But what are they sending out? Poor me, nothing ever works, nobody does what they're supposed to, etc., etc. So what do you think they're going to get back? Okay, so here's a tip to help change things around. Pay attention to your words, and that includes your inner dialogue in your mind. Remember that words and thoughts and feelings all have creative power. So the question is, what do you want to create? Here's another tip. Pay attention to your actions. A nice little trick to become more aware is to observe yourself in different situations. And when something happens that you don't like, do you react to it or do you interact with it? You have free will and choice, so what do you choose? Reaction is a low vibration response that's based on fear. Interaction is a high vibration response that's based on love and knowing yourself. So let's talk about fear and why it's technically an illusion. Fear is a belief that you are less than who you really are. So let me repeat this. Fear is a belief that you are less than who you really are. It's just an old story that hasn't had a chance to be healed yet, but it's false evidence appearing real. However, feelings are real, and feeling afraid is a real feeling. So if it's an illusion, where do the feelings come from? Well, whatever you feel is a result of the beliefs that you hold about yourself and the world around you. And your beliefs are a result of how you perceive the world and how you perceive yourself. If you honestly love yourself, you will also love others. And the world you experience will be beautiful and you'll be filled with happiness. By the way, happy is a natural way to feel. Unhappy means that you don't know who you are. So then you might say, but wait, what about all the evil that's out there in the world? Well, you don't ignore it or deny it. You just don't place your primary focus on what you think is wrong. You see, consciousness is a creative energy. And just like an electrical circuit, whatever energy is stronger is going to override or cancel out the weaker one. And when you awaken to who you are, you become enlightened, and light disperses darkness. That's why judgment is so counterproductive. You're actually adding energy where you don't want it. Judgment of others, control of others, forcing your self-righteousness onto others, those are all third-dimensional projections of your own fear. Also, it's a good idea to let go of thinking that you can fix other people, because everyone has their own personal path to enlightenment. It's an agreement they have with their own soul. So let them live their own lives and just concentrate on improving your own. In other words, raising the vibration of your own consciousness. Now, if you look at something in the world that you don't like and you use it as inspiration to help come up with new ways to improve things because you would love to see people being happier and living a better life, that's a higher state of consciousness, and that will bring you more love and more happiness in your own life. So reaching higher states of consciousness is something that you do within yourself, and love is the ultimate answer. Love is the opposite of fear. When you shift your vibration to love, it cancels out the fear. And you start to become the true expression of the God Goddess within you. But in order to love yourself, you have to know yourself. And unfortunately, knowing yourself can be a challenge. So here's another heads up. The ego actually can get in the way. What happens is the ego tries to prevent you from realizing who you really are. That's because it knows that when you wake up to who you are, well, the truth might be hurtful. It knows that when you become aware of why you made certain choices, it could turn out to be quite embarrassing. But the truth will set you free. And one of the attributes of the fifth dimension is freedom. When your vibration is high enough, nothing enslaves you. And love is what gets you there. So how do you get this love? Well, it comes from within. You already have it. All you need to do is awaken to it and be it. If you know yourself, you can love yourself. And loving yourself is the key to being in the fifth dimension. So, in summary, self-realization is perhaps the most difficult thing you'll ever do. But it's also where all the magic is. The more deeply you know yourself, the more deeply you can love yourself. And what helps is to realize that what you see in the world, including what you see in other people, is a reflection of yourself. It's a feedback from the universe. That means Observing your judgments of others is a great way to help discover who you are, because what you think about them is based on what you think about yourself. When you no longer judge them, you will love yourself. As within, so without. Accepting others is accepting yourself. Loving others is loving yourself. And self-love creates more love universally. So the more you know yourself, the more you'll love yourself. And the more you love yourself, the more freedom you'll experience in your life. Because the real you is pure spirit essence love. You are source energy. So it's all about knowing who you are. And the key to the fifth dimension is awakening to the love within you in this moment, right here, right now, always. It's a beautiful place to be. I hope you'll take this to heart and pass it on to others. And until next time, love, light, and peace. Namaste.